A custom command isn't magic. It's a markdown file you parameterize. And in 2026, that file grew up. Welcome to the Atlas. You've typed / in your editor and seen the menu of commands. This episode is about building your own and the change that turned them into skills. You keep pasting the same 5-step checklist into the chat. Every project and every teammate retypes it slightly differently, so it drifts. That repetition is the signal. It should be a command. Commands control the agent from inside a session, switch models, manage permissions, clear context, run a workflow. Type / to see every command available to you. A command is only recognized at the start of your message, and anything after the name is passed in as arguments. Most of these are built in, but the menu has room for yours. 3 kinds of entries share that menu. Built-in commands that run fixed logic, bundled skills that hand the agent a prompt, and workflows that fan work out in the background. The commands you write are the same shape as those bundled skills, a prompt you saved. And here's the twist this whole episode turns on. The way you'd have built that command last year is now the legacy way. A custom command is not a setting in a dashboard. It is a file on disk. Where you put that file decides who can use it, and what you name it decides the command you type. There are 2 scopes for the older command file. Drop it in the projects.claude commands folder, and it works only in that project. Drop it in your home.claude commands folder, and it follows you across every project you open. The file format is the whole trick. It's a markdown file. The file name, without the markdown extension, becomes the command name. The content defines what the command does. And an optional block at the top, the Frontmatter, configures it. The simplest command is 1 sentence, name a file refactor, write refactor the selected code for readability, and you've made a /refactor command. Scope is governance. A project command is shared with everyone who clones the repository. A personal command is yours alone. Team conventions go in the project. Personal shortcuts stay personal. And there are actually more than 2 scopes, 4, once you count the modern path. That modern path is the thing that changed. Here's the sentence, straight from the documentation. Custom commands have been merged into skills, not deprecated, merged. The front door is the same. The room behind it got bigger. A file at the command's path and a skill folder at the skills path both create the same /deploy command and both work the same way. Your existing command files keep working, nothing breaks. But the skill adds 3 things the flat file never had. A directory for supporting files, Frontmatter that controls whether you or the agent invokes it, and the ability for the agent to load it automatically when it's relevant. Where a command file is one saved note, a skill is the whole room. And because a skill's body loads only when it's used, even long reference material costs almost nothing until you need it. One more thing, skills follow an open standard, so they work across more than one tool. So a command is no longer just a saved prompt. It's an entry point into a skill. And here's a sharp consequence. If a skill and a command share the same name, the skill wins. A command is a parameterized prompt. The parameters are placeholders you write in the file, and the agent fills them in from whatever you type after the command name. Get the placeholder wrong, and the command quietly does the wrong thing. There are 4 ways to reach your arguments. The argument's placeholder, written in all caps with a $sign, expands to the full string, exactly as typed. So fix issue, arguments placeholder, +/fix issue 123 becomes fix issue 123. The index form reaches 1 argument by position, counting from 0. The $N shorthand is the short way to write that same index. And name placeholders, declared in the Frontmatter, let you write a readable name instead of a number. Now the trap. The count starts at 0. $0 is the first argument. $1 is the second. Anyone who has written a shell script expects $1 to be the first. Here it isn't. Off by 1, and your command targets the wrong thing. 2 more rules. Multi-word values need quotes, or they split into separate arguments. And if you pass arguments, but forget to put a placeholder anywhere, the agent doesn't lose them. It appends them to the end, so it still sees what you typed. The Frontmatter is the block at the very top of the file, fenced by triple dashes. Everything in it is optional except 1 field, and the fields you choose decide who can fire the command and what it's allowed to do. The description is the 1 field worth always writing. It's how the agent decides when the command applies, And it's capped at about 1,500 characters in the listing, so lead with a key use case. The argument hint shows expected arguments while you type. The arguments field names your placeholders. Then the control fields. Disable model invocation, set to true, means only you can fire it. Use it for anything with side effects. Deploy, commit, because you don't want the agent deciding to deploy just because the code looks ready. User invocable, set to false, flips it, only the agent invokes it for background knowledge that isn't a meaningful command for a person to run. By default, both you and the agent can invoke it. Now the field that fools people. Allowed tools grants permission for the listed tools while the command is active. It does not restrict. Every other tool stays callable. If you think allowed tools locks a command down to read only, you're wrong. To actually block a tool, you use disallowed tools or a deny rule. A command can prep the room before anyone walks in. 2 prefixes do it, and both run before the agent reads a single word. The bang prefix, an exclamation mark before a backtick command, runs that shell command first, and its output replaces the line. The agent receives the actual data, not the command. It's pre-processing. The @sign prefix does the same for files, and @sign before a file name inlines that file's contents. 2 boundary rules. The substitution runs once, so a command can't emit another command for a second pass. And the bang is only recognized at the start of a line, or right after a space, bury it after another character, and it's left as plain text. If your security policy needs it off entirely, a single setting disables all shell injection. This is why a custom command feels smart. A commit command that runs get status and get diff first hands the agent the real diff, not a request to go fetch it. Pair it with allowed tools that pre-approves exactly those commands, and it runs end to end without stopping to ask. As your command library grows, you organize it in folders. Subdirectories group commands without changing what you type. The subfolder shows up in the command's description, but the command name itself stays flat. And when you drive the agent from code instead of a terminal, the same commands are available automatically. You send a command just by putting it in the prompt string, and the session startup message lists every command available, built in and custom. So you can discover them programmatically. Only commands that work without an interactive terminal can be dispatched this way. A few built-ins, initialize, review, security review, are also reachable as a tool the agent can call directly, gated by permission rules that allow or deny commands by name. So the same file on disk is your keyboard shortcut in your programmatic command. You write it once. It serves the person at the keyboard and the agent running headless. 4 mistakes. Each looks like a correct command until you hit the boundary that breaks it. This is what the certification tests. Not whether you know the names, whether you know the edges. Mistake 1, off by 1. $0 is the first argument. $1 is the second. Shell muscle memory says otherwise, and the command targets the wrong thing. Mistake 2, thinking allowed tools restricts. It grants. Every other tool stays callable. To lock a command down, you reach for disallowed tools or a deny rule. Mistake 3. For a skill folder, the name field in the Frontmatter does not set the command you type. The directory name does. The name field is just the display label. Mistake 4. A command with side effects and no disable model invocation. The agent can decide to fire your deploy because the code looks ready. The fix is the flag, not hope. And 1 sticky edge. A skill's content loads once when you invoke it and stays for the session. Editing the file mid-session doesn't change what's already in the conversation. You re-invoke to pick up the change. Pull it together. Building a custom command is answering 4 questions, where the file lives is scope, project, personal, and with skills, enterprise, and plugin 2. What you name the file, or the skills directory, is the command you type. The arguments are how you thread input through it. And $0 is the first one. The Frontmatter decides who can fire it and what it's allowed to touch. Write it as a legacy command file, and it works. Write it as a skill, and it gains supporting files, invocation control, and automatic loading. Either way, the front door is yours. The repetition you started with, the checklist you kept repasting, is now 1 file, 1 command, 1 source of truth, shared across your team, and reachable from code. 5 things to carry with you. 1, where the file lives is scope, 2 command scopes, 4 skill scopes. 2, custom commands are skills now, and the older file still works. 3. The argument's placeholder's thread input, and $0 is the first one. 4. Frontmatter decides who fires the command, and allowed tools grants but does not restrict. 5. The bang prefix runs a shell command before the agent ever reads the prompt. The front door is yours. And now it opens onto a whole room. Thank you for watching the Atlas. If this episode helped, subscribe. There are more in this series on the way. Next up, hooks and permissions, the guards behind the door. The rules that decide what every command you build is actually allowed to do.